I saw the talks. I fought it. But something just told me, yo, check out the Mud album. I've been seeing people talk about it all year. Check it out. And man, I checked it out, and that shit been in rotation for me all year long. It filled a void I've been looking for from R&B for a minute now, from male R&B acts. Top of the Top, episode 271, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute, or if there's just an episode, you saw some topics you may want to hear about, thank you for tuning in as well. Podcast available on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Like this video as well on YouTube. Subscribe to your preferred audio platform as well. And tell a friend to tell another friend, check out this show. All love is greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. This is part one of the year-end wrap-up. I'm going to do R&B this week, and next week I'm going to do hip-hop. Normally I do combine the two and just talk about all out my favorite albums, favorite artists of the year. But this year I feel like R&B was pretty straightforward and hip-hop was pretty chaotic. So I decided to split the two up. Next week episode will be the last episode of the year, and I'll come back with a date to let y'all know when I'm dropping in January, because I will come back in January. I might take a good little month off. You know what I'm saying? I may come back toward the latter end of January, but I'll let y'all know a date for sure next week on the hip-hop episode, so stay tuned for that. And all in all, hope everyone just had a great couple weeks. I haven't dropped in a couple weeks. I know, my bad. I did let people know on my social media platforms that I will be having like a 2-week break. So shout out to everybody who kept up with that. Two things I want to talk about, though, real quick before I jump into this year-end wrap-up episode about R&B. One, I don't give a damn if Ryan Day is holding up the trophy and Ohio State is the national champions at the end of the college football playoffs. As soon as he get back to that locker room, the AD, whoever, need to shake his hand and say, hey, bro, appreciate you, but we will no longer be needing your service moving forward. 4 straight losses against Michigan. I talked about it on my TikTok. I don't even want to talk about it no more for real, but it was the most probably embarrassing loss out of the 4, in my opinion. Just how? How do you lose that game in that fashion to Michigan for a 4th straight year? Blows my mind. By the time y'all hear this, the college football playoff bracket should be announced. We'll see how it goes. Also, for my content creators, I did hear a lot about the TikTok ban over the past week. It's been talks of that for the past years, probably 2-3 years, I feel like. But I think it has been approved, the TikTok ban in the United States. I have been seeing certain creators on the timeline talk about how they were able to quit their 9-to-5, quit their corporate job to pursue full-time content creation, mainly through TikTok. And just keep y'all head up. Keep y'all head up. You do got Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, even though most of those platforms aren't the same as they were beforehand, sadly. But just keep putting the work in. Keep putting the work in. You never know who's watching. You never know who's relying on your content day by day, week to week, month to month. Just tell them to follow you on other social media platforms. Of course, they're not going to be like TikTok where you get that automatic laugh, that automatic sit down and be able to watch your content. You got YouTube. That's the best one I can tell y'all to go to is YouTube, because Facebook is not Facebook no more. Twitter is damn sure not Twitter no more. Snapchat is just there at this point. But I'm sure some creator is in their room right now in their basement, in their attic somewhere, coming up with a social media platform to benefit content creators even more. So all in all, content creators, keep y'all head up. Keep y'all head up. I know that TikTok, for me personally, I don't see not as nearly as many funny videos like I do on TikTok. TikTok is like damn near how Comedy Central was back in the day. Like, if your algorithm right, TikTok serve its purpose. Now, I don't understand the whole ban. I think it's more political than it is anything, but I mean, you hate to see it. Like I say, certain people who say they were able to quit their corporate jobs to go full time on TikTok and make money from it. That's probably what it is. Probably a more economic situation, more of a political situation than anything, because I haven't seen nothing on my timeline in my algorithm that made me be like, oh, I don't want to have TikTok no more. And I only had TikTok for about 2 years. I wasn't on it early like everybody else. I just got up on TikTok, and I hate to see it go, but we'll see how it turns out in the next couple months. But like I said, this is part 1 of the year-end wrap-up, focusing on R&B. And what I'm going to do, I'm starting with 10 of my favorite R&B projects that dropped this year. Then I'm going to go into the R&B MVPs of 2024 and artists who I think underachieved in the R&B genre in 2024. And to end things off, probably talk about 5 artists who I'm anticipating albums from next year. So sit back, relax, enjoy a new episode of Stash House Podcast. Let's get it. So like I said, I'm starting with 10 of my favorite R&B projects that dropped this year, and it's pretty simple. The first 5 are projects that I like, but I just didn't have in rotation as much as I did the last 5. So the last 5, I'll be able to go in more detail with. So let's start things off. First, we got Odile, Lustropolis. It just dropped last month, I believe. New signee to the LVRN, Love Renaissance label. They also got Black, Summer Walker, Division. So they got their pulse. They got their hand, I'll say, on the pulse of R&B within the past few years. And I've been seeing this guy Odile pop up on my timeline, so I decided to check out his project. About 6 or 7 songs. Great solid R&B. I believe he's Nigerian. He's already had like a cult following for the past few years. But with that LVRN stamp, he's going to be known more to the masses, I'll say. And his song with Summer Walker on this project is very good as well. So LVRN, they know what to do with their artists, even though I feel like Black last album, Division last album could have been a little bit better. I was anticipating the Summer Walker album dropping this year, but they got this new signee, Odile, Lustropolis. I like what they're doing. I think he's on tour right now. He just got off tour, by the way. And like I said, his project just dropped last month, so that should let you know a little bit how I feel about the R&B overall that dropped this year. If a project that just dropped a couple weeks ago is already on my top 10 of the year. But that's a conversation I'll save for later. But Odile, Lustropolis, check it out. Also, Kiana Leddy, Cut Ties. I've been up on Kiana Leddy for the past couple years. This Cut Ties project did kind of go under my radar for the majority of the year. I just had to revisit it. I just revisited a couple weeks ago. The Cut Ties song on this album is very, very good. It's very good. Kiana Leddy, I can't remember the project name. It got like a purplish background that she dropped a few years ago. That's a very good project she had a couple years ago. And yeah, I just think she's in that reign of R&B artists, especially for the women who just missing that breakout song. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to listen to her albums from the beginning to end, and you find out what you like. But it does go in the vein of like, damn, why this song didn't go crazier than, you know what I'm saying, normal? Or why this album isn't getting talked about as much as the other R&B acts. So I don't know what's her situation behind the scenes, but I feel like she's just missing that song that gets trending on TikTok or has a lot of people talking. So Kiana Leddy, Cut Ties is a very good project. She does have a great track record in terms of albums, so I definitely recommend y'all check that out. Next up, Money Long, Revenge. Money Long has been in conversations in R&B for the past however many years, especially behind the scenes. She used to write for Ariana Grande, Rihanna, Mariah Carey. So she had that transition where we see a lot of R&B acts come into. She was a well-known writer behind the scenes. Now she wants to do her solo career, get herself more in the spotlight. And in the pandemic, she had the Hours and Hours song that was very trendy. So she put herself in a situation where not only are you a writer trying to come into the spotlight now, but the first song people really know you from is one of the songs get trendy on TikTok, and people claim they get tired of hearing because their kids listen to it all the time, or on every other TikTok video that pop up is your song playing. So she came into a situation where it was like, dang, people are already tired of me before I really got going. And then you got the twin Where Have You Been song that popped this year, which was written by Jermaine Dupri and Brian Michael Cox. And that stays in rotation on TikTok, Facebook, and all that good stuff. So a lot of people thought she was like a quote-unquote industry plant, but it's like, nah, she was known in the industry already as a writer, and she can't help the first song she pop out with, Hours and Hours, is trending throughout the pandemic. And then the next song she dropped is trending as well. So she's just a great writer. She knows how to make great songs. So shout out to Money Long, Revenge. She got a song on the Revenge project called 30s, which kind of put me in the mind of like a second part of SZA. I think, didn't SZA have a song called 20s or something like that on her Control album? But Money Long 30s is kind of like a great part 2 of that. I think Money Long is like how I always put I love my R&B women to be. She says the things women in my age bracket are always saying in conversation and on social media, but yet she's telling the men how the women feel so us men can move accordingly as well. I like when women R&B acts do that. I wish more male acts would do that instead of just this whole I don't give a damn, nonchalant. Even though I am nonchalant, like it is what it is, but I love when women just tell men how they feel in certain songs. So it's like, I know a chick like that. Let me try this on her. And you try it, you be like, oh, damn, thanks, Money Long. So shout out to Money Long, Revenge. Definitely check that out. One of my favorite projects of the year. Just didn't crack my top 5, though. Also, we got Sir, Heavy, Sir from TDE, the Heavy project. Now, at first, my first couple listens when it first dropped earlier this year, I was like, because Sir is great. He had the, I think called September album, EP that dropped a few years ago. And that last one he dropped was definitely the one that had the hair down, the John Redcom, the Fire, the You Can't, what's the one? You Can't Save Me From My, that album, I think it came out in 2019. That was probably his best project. So coming to this one early this year, I had those same expectations. But it's not a different vibe, but he just kind of went a little bit more left than that album did, the one that 2019 did. But when I went to revisit it, and when the weather got a little bit colder, the temperature started to drop a little bit, I was like, okay, it's still the same Sir. He just showing he got more range, definitely vocal ability. Like his whole family is talented. So shout out to Sir, his Heavy project, and like I said, being on TDE, especially in 2024, your album can go under the radar. But if you're into R&B and you went back to listen to R&B projects that dropped this year, Sir did provide a great batch of R&B songs that I was like, okay, it's not the 2019 album, but it's still a good, solid 2024 project. I think he just probably could have waited till the temperature dropped a little bit to release it, but all in all, shout out to Sir. Next up, Ye Ali, Private Suite 5. Ye Ali been one of the guys I've been paying attention to a lot in R&B since probably 2016, 2017. He put me in the mind of that early Party Next Door vibe when I first got onto him, and just seeing his career, like he constantly released projects. And the thing with Ye Ali that always kind of tripped me up, he's the type, you know how Wayne got the Carter series and these artists have different series in their catalog. Ye Ali got about 3 or 4 of those. He got the Private Suite. He got Trap House Jodeci. He got different sagas that he got, different series in his catalog. So it's kind of hard to keep up with at times. But Private Suite 5, I really enjoy. He got the Good Girls Part 2 with the Joe Good Girl sample that I really enjoy. He got the I think it's called Now 5 Times with 1111. He got Deleting Apps on Private Suite 5. Very solid R&B project. And like I always say with Ye Ali, a guy who proclaims himself as Trap House Jodeci, that is a great alter ego to have. And he does some writing for Chris Brown, too, as well, behind the scenes. And I know that's kind of crazy because Chris Brown, like I said, he dropped albums that got 20 to 40 songs on it. But Ye Ali does pen for Chris Brown here and there. So shout out to Ye Ali. He does. I think he finally found his place in R&B. Because at first, I think he was trying to get to the level of the Bryson Tillers, the Tory Lanez, the Party Next Door. But then he realized, like, oh, I can do my own projects, and I can pen for one of the biggest, if not the biggest, R&B act in Chris Brown and still get that notoriety that I want. But in terms of my solo work, I can just do what I do on that part. So I think he's comfortable now with his place in R&B. And shout out to Ye Ali. I've been watching his journey for a minute now, and it's good to see he's still dropping great quality projects. Now, the next 5 projects I'm going to speak about are my 5 favorite R&B projects that dropped this year. And, of course, I'm going to say my favorite for last. So let's get right into it. First, No Worries with the Wild Law Project, Anderson .Paak, Knowledge. Overall, like I said, you just press play, and that first song, Thank You, with Dave Chappelle come in talking, it set the tone for the entire project. The song with her is amazing. Snoop Dogg, October London, Out the Way, I really love. Fall Through, I really enjoy. It's just a solid project. I would love for them next year. I'm not sure if they did shows or did a live performance of this album this year, probably at Camp Flawed now, but I'm not sure. I would love to go see these 2 guys perform this album live in like a real, not intimate environment, but like an amphitheater, because that's why I saw Anderson .Paak at a few years ago in like an amphitheater setting. I would really love to see these guys perform this album live from start to finish, and you can throw in some other No Worries song too from the last project as well. But I would really love to just sit and watch these guys perform this album from start to finish in person. It's just a very solid project. It was one of the ones where I was like, okay, this R&B or is it hip-hop? It definitely just put me into more of a calm, soothing R&B mood overall rather than hip-hop, in my opinion. So Anderson .Paak, Knowledge, job well done with the Wild Law album. And I want to say this next project either dropped a week before or a week after the No Worries, the K-Tronada Timeless. That was a great back-to-back. I want to say they dropped back-to-back weeks. That was a great back-to-back week in terms of music. The K-Tronada album, it's K-Tronada vibes. I know when I first listened to it and I came on here and said it, I was like, dang, his last album came out, I want to say maybe 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, well, production-wise, I would have thought K-Tronada would have not changed production, but a little bit more 5 years have passed type of production, I'll say. But then he tweeted, he was like, most of these beats on this project I had for years since I was like 17, 18. So they were really leftovers from the last 2 projects. And I was like, okay, that makes more sense. When he came out and said it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's why I knew I wasn't tripping. I was like, man, I felt like the production could have been a little bit more advanced, I felt like. But the features he had, I love the fact that he get the features of people who I'm not familiar with. Like, yeah, you got the Childish Gambinos, you got the Don Tollivers, you got the Don from Dirty Money, you got, not her, I forgot, it was another woman who I knew already, Sid, but you got artists who I'm not familiar with, and that made me go check out some of their work as well, because I'm like, damn, they sound real good on this K-Tronada beat. Not even just tempo-wise, singing-wise, they sound great. But K-Tronada, I saw his performance at Camp Flawed Knob, and I would like to go see K-Tronada live. I know the vibe that you know what I'm saying? I saw the boiler rooms and all that. But if you know what you're walking into, it's pretty cool, and it's music at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, when it comes to that vibe, that if you want to say house music vibe, whatever, give me K-Tronada first, and whoever you can say it put you in the mind of K-Tronada, bring that information to me as well. Because K-Tronada is the first person I go to when I want to hear that boom bap, fist pump, if you want to say, but mixed with R&B, black culture type vibe. K-Tronada is the first person I run to. And his Timeless project, very, very solid. So the No Worries and K-Tronada, I want to say they were back-to-back weeks early this year, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to those two. There were some very, very solid projects, not in just R&B, just albums overall this year. K-Tronada, No Worries, salute. Next up, Bryson Tiller, self-titled album, Bryson Tiller. And the Attention song, I want to say it's the second song on the project, if not the first. Somebody on TikTok mixed that song with genuine differences. If I'm not mistaken. The My Whole Life Has. They mixed that beat with the Bryson Tiller lyrics from Attention, and now I can't listen to that Attention song the same way. You gotta listen to it with the genuine sample on it. It's like, dang, what a bro, what a. Even though I am, like I said, with the samples, I do get tired, but when you hear a good mashup, you like, damn, Bryce, you probably should have called Genuine and got that cleared, because that shit better than the original version for sure. The Stay Gold song I really enjoy. That Don't You Know I'm About to Lose Control. And then the Child. Bryson Tiller did his thing on this self-titled project. I did find it funny. It was a self-titled project because it's like, bro, it's like your third, fifth album. Normally the self-titled album is your first project, but, you know, watching his interviews, he's been coming outside more. And like I said, his Breakfast Club interview earlier this year, I was like, bro, I totally understand why you chose the route for your career to be ducked off and pop out when you want to pop out, because you had a rough start to your career. Not even on no contract or no, just in his mind and his living environment, he had a rough start to his career. Just working at Papa John's one day, and then your SoundCloud album just go crazy the next day, and then you got people in your neighborhood, you got your daughter, the baby mama issues, and your self-doubt in your head, and it's like, yeah, Bryce, I understand why you just keep to yourself and pop out when you want to pop out. I totally understand it, but this Bryson Tiller self-titled project this year definitely been in rotation throughout the year for R&B in my playlist. Now, my last two projects I want to talk about, and all year, I ain't gonna say all year, but since they both dropped and whatnot, I have been going back and forth. Do I like this project more than this project? Which one is my favorite R&B projects? I've seen one of these guys live this year perform his album, and I'm going to start with him, Lucky Day, Algorithm. I went to Orlando, House of Blues, saw Lucky Day live perform this project, and like I said on the podcast when I came back from that, I don't know who was in charge of booking his venues, but in Orlando, that House of Blues, he needed a bigger venue. I ain't gonna say we was in there like sardines, but we were damn near like sardines. There was like a little bit of space on the top where I found a cool little spot to post up at. Then I went to the bottom, found a cool little spot to post up at. But it was slam packed. He got fans. And this Algorithm album sound great in person. He got catalogs. He got the Painted album I really enjoy. He got the Candy Drip album, the Table for Two. So I knew he had a catalog, and I picked the Lucky Day project, not Lucky Day project. I picked the Lucky Day concert to go to over Party Next Door. Party Next Door, you know what I'm saying, quick. I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but he was the person I think underachieved this year, but I'll talk about that a little bit more. So I picked Lucky Day because I knew he had the catalog. I knew he was a great performer. And the Algorithm album, I really enjoyed. And I love it even more after watching him perform it live. The Paralyzed song is one of my favorite songs this year. I really enjoy that song. And I really love what Lucky Day got going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people forget, like, he's older. He look young, but he's older. He's been trying to get his foot in the game for years now. And since he got in the game with that Painted album, he been full-fledged since. So I really enjoy the Lucky Day Algorithm album so much that I went to Orlando to watch him perform it live. Shout out to Lucky Day. And my favorite R&B album of the year, as much as I tried to fight it and say, nah, this ain't it, whoop-de-whoop, Leon Thomas, Mud. Man, talk about a surprise listen for one. Because I've been seeing people talk about him for the past couple years, and I was like, you know, that's the guy from Victorious, Nickelodeon. I understand when people say, yo, he's not the little kid no more. He's making music that adults will enjoy. I saw the talks. I fought it. But something just told me, yo, check out the Mud album. I've been seeing people talk about it all year. Check it out. And man, I checked it out, and that shit been in rotation for me all year long. It filled a void I've been looking for from R&B for a minute now, from male R&B acts. Just good music all around. Like, this is what I'm coming with. I can play my guitar on stage, but I can also go on conductor beats. The track with Masego, Lucid Dreams, one of my favorite songs this year. The Mud song took off crazy. He got Freddie Gibbs on the remix as well. I like the way Leon Thomas moving. It's a great transition from me only knowing him from Victorious on Nickelodeon. You know what I'm saying? So I was very surprised. And as much as I wanted to fight it, the Leon Thomas Mud album is my favorite R&B project this year. I tried to fight it, but damn it, it's a good album. I don't know what else to say. So shout out to everybody I just named. Odile, Lustropolis, Kiana Letty, Cut Ties, Money Long, Revenge, Sir, Heavy, Ye Ali, Private Suite 5, No Worries, Wild Law, K Tronada, Timeless, Bryson Tiller, Self-Titled Project, Lucky Day, Algorithm, and Leon Thomas Mutt. And now that leads into my R&B MVPs of the year. I got Lucky Day because I went to go see him live and everything he's doing, I just got to applaud it. You know what I'm saying? I got Usher. I went to go see Usher live as well earlier this year. Everybody going to see Usher live. If you haven't went to go see Usher live, I think he got his last shows in December. Get a nosebleed. Get a nosebleed. You'll be in the building. Man, just hearing those records I grew up off of, Burn, You Remind Me, You Got It Bad, like those, that 8701 and those Confession songs are the ones I really enjoy him performing because I'm like, bro, I was in 5th grade when Confessions came out. I believe I was in fifth grade when Confessions came out. And I just like, damn, Burn, like, I remember playing this shit as a kid, watching this shit on BET, 8701, the You Remind Me and all, like, that shit was dope. Like, all the other songs cool, but when he was doing those 8701s and those Confession songs, bro, that took me back to my childhood. I was like, yeah, and I had to Let It Burn up in there, too. When he performed Let It Burn, you got to guarantee that. So shout out to Usher, Lucky Day, K Tronada, Money Long, and one of my biggest MVPs of this year, not even an artist, but a podcast, R&B Money Podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine. I just been binging they podcast for like the past 2 months. Going back from the first episode with Jamie Foxx, the Troy Taylor episode, the Brian Michael Cox episode, the Jonte Austin episode, Jazzy Faye, Lil Ronnie, what's my guy's name? Mike City, JQ, KP. These are some of my favorite episodes. Carrie Hilson, Tyrese, part 1 and 2. You can't never go wrong with a Tyrese interview. It was another episode I feel like I'm forgetting. LTD, Love Ballad. Jeffrey Osborne. Yeah, old school, man. And I'm looking forward to R&B Money Podcast because I've been saying since I've been binge watching the episodes, I need a Genuine episode. I need a Joe episode. I need a Mariah Carey. I need, who else? Two more. Joe, Genuine, Mariah Carey, Donnell Jones, and dang, I wish my boy Staten Major was still around. Who else? Last person in R&B. Just throw one name up in the air and catch it. R&B, I need to see. Damn, I like to hear Missy Elliott's story in terms of R&B. Yeah, Missy Elliott too. By the way, the KC episode, that's who it was. KC from Jodeci, his episode is very, very good. Got a lot of information about the Jodeci story I did not know about, and it confirmed a lot of stuff too that I wanted to know. So check out R&B Money Podcast if you're into R&B like that. Great backstory. I know Troy Taylor, I didn't know he was so involved with Trey Songz's career. It just, the names I've been hearing throughout the years who I didn't really know what all they did, they got the episodes, so I'm like, oh, he did more than just this over here. I didn't know he did this with B2K as well. You know what I'm saying? So R&B Money Podcast, definitely an R&B MVP for me this year as well. Now, artists who I'm anticipating albums from in 2025. Some of these names I've been saying for the past 2-3 years, they have yet to release another album, so I'm going to keep them on my list. First, Summer Walker. When Heart of a Woman came out early this year, I said, oh, for sure, Summer Walker album's coming out before Thanksgiving. At this point, this is like her, third, fourth project? She don't need I understand LVRN, they do the rollouts. I understand it. But Heart of a Woman, it did exactly. Y'all been teasing it for about 2-3 months. It dropped. It got the reception that you were looking for. All the women love it. The men love it. Dropped the album. The song is the rollout for me in terms of Summer Walker. So that was a head-scratching move, but I'm sure they may come out. They didn't drop on Thanksgiving. So my prediction, Summer Walker album coming out by Valentine's Day. I think they're going to set something up for Valentine's Day with Summer Walker, with her history of her albums and who her albums be about. I think Valentine's Day, they're going to set something up for the Summer Walker album. I put money on that. Next up, Her. Now, Her is a long shot. I don't think Her is thinking about music right now, especially not no album. She got soundtracks. She doing national anthems at games. She doing voiceovers. She doing commercials. Her, I don't think she's thinking about no album. But damn it, I want a new Her album next year in 2025. Next name is a name I've been saying for the past few years. I don't know what's going on, but the internet. I need a new internet project. Sid dropped the album last year or the year before last, if I'm not mistaken. But I need a full-fledged the internet project. I don't think they performed together at Camp Flawed. No, I know Sid had a performance at Camp Flawed. No, but I would love just to see a picture of the internet in the studio or something. I need a new project ASAP. Also, Snow Allegra. I thought she was dropping last year. She hasn't dropped a project in a good little minute. I want to say, 2021? Maybe 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Snow Allegra. I need a new project. And lastly, Joyce Rice. Joyce Rice, she been under the radar for a minute in R&B. I really enjoy her music. She got songs with Kaytranada I really enjoy. She had a song during the pandemic, That's You, that I really love. And her project that dropped, I think called Overgrown or something like that, I think they dropped in 2021. Very solid project. So I need a new Joyce Rice album ASAP as well. The artist who I think underachieved the most in R&B, I got to go with Party Next Door. The album didn't really do what it's supposed to do for me. I think more people talked about the album cover than the actual album. The tour clips I saw were the exact reason why I didn't want to go see him live. You got the fans singing most of the songs, but it's not the classics. I'll sing P1 and P2 all day for you. But this new album, I ain't about to sing Cheers and No Chill out loud for you, dog. That's your job. Give me the classics now. I'll sing goddamn Thirsty and Grown Woman and What's Good and Break from Toronto, Make a Meal. I'll sing Ballin'. I'll sing those live for you. Welcome to the Party. I'll sing those live for you all day. But this new music, man, it just ain't cutting it for me. And to make situations worse, he got pulled into the whole Drake situation with Drake saying, me and Party Next Door, our collab album dropping this year. And I was looking forward to it. Let's make that clear. I know everything that happened with Drake this year happened, but when he said him and Party Next Door got the collab album, I'm like, okay, cool. You about 8 years too late, but if it's some good R&B on it, it's some good R&B on it. But I was like, damn, Party got to get drugged into this, and it never came out, obviously. Like I said, I feel like if you're a real Party Next Door fan, I feel like we probably could have got this, probably got the Drake Party Next Door collab after P2, because they had the Recognize song on there. On P1, they had the Over Here song. I feel like after P2, we could have got a little 5-pack, 6-pack or something from them two. But things that over there at OVO, man, I know it kind of tricky right now, but I was looking for, like, the weather cool down, things calm down a little bit. Why not pop back out with a cool 10-song R&B Drake Party Next Door? But obviously, with Kendrick still got his foot on people's neck, I don't think that's coming no time soon. So, I got to get the Party, man. P4 didn't really do what P4 is supposed to do for me, honestly. Like I said earlier, I chose to go to Lucky Day concert over Party Next Door simply because Lucky Day is a better performer, and I like the Algorithm album more than I did P4. Now, like I say all the time, Party Next Door come out and say, yo, I'm going on tour for P1 and P2. Fans come out, sing y'all heart out. Damn it, I'll be on board with that. I'll be ready to sing. I'll be drinking some hot tea, some hot water for about a week, getting ready to sing for that concert. But I ain't about to be singing No Chill and Cheers and all that. The album cover was great, though. The album cover was great. Got to give it to him. He probably got album cover of the year, if we being honest. I'll give him that. I'll give him part of this, though, that he got album cover of the year. But all in all, it just didn't do it for me when I pressed play. So all in all, that's my R&B 2024 wrap-up. Some great projects did drop over the year. All in all, I want more from 2025 for R&B. Like I say, that first 5 I named, Odell, Keanu Leddy, Money Long, Sir, Ye Ali, I enjoyed them, but I just didn't have them in rotation as much. But that Leon Thomas album, crazy. Lucky Day album, crazy. No Worries, K-Tronada, Bryson Tiller. They were crazy. Summer Walker, Heart of a Woman song was crazy. But all in all, I do want more from R&B in 2025. And next week, make sure y'all stay tuned for the hip-hop episode. A lot to talk about in hip-hop with the albums and everything that transpired this year in hip-hop. I'm going to save that for next week. But all in all, I thank y'all for tuning in this week's episode. Been episode 271, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week. If you're still in school, got the finals coming up, study, do everything you need to do to get situated for that. If you out shopping for Christmas, be safe, be aware of your surroundings. If you're traveling, be safe, be aware of your surroundings, all that good stuff. Drink your water, man. Eat your fruit. Stay clean. Keep some money in your pocket. Mind your business. Stay prayed up. Y'all know that's the motto around this part. So all in all, keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.